Hi, welcome to the Intermediate Accounting 2 course that's going to be starting on Thursday, March 28th. My name is Bob Payne. I'm the instructor for the course, and I always like to do just a quick video introduction just to make sure everybody kind of knows what my expectations are and how the course is laid out and so forth. It's going to be similar to the 301. If you took that online, there's going to be a difference or two that I will point out to you. Just like the 301, you want to make sure that you've got your time managed squared away. You kind of have a plan for when you're going to do your reading, when you're going to do your homework problems, and so forth. And there will be a few other assignments in there to talk about. Some of the differences of this class from the previous classes: there are no discussion questions. We'll see that in a second when we get to the layout of some of the individual things. We'll talk about that in a moment. It doesn't mean that there's not enough work, and it doesn't mean that there's not going to be anything we're going to be talking about, participation and using the board and all that kind of stuff, which we are. So let's just go through a little bit of an information here along the side. Course information, it's the same information that you needed before. There's the dates of the class. There's my late policy. Pay attention to that. That's kind of important. Syllabus, assignment, summary are there for you. Course description. Textbooks are exactly the same. It's what you used. You will use that for the second class, this 302. You will also use it for 303 and this accounting and auditing research tools and strategies book. You actually use for probably three or four courses beyond this sequence of intermediate. A little bit of an information about me. You can read that as part of the background here. I also am on Twitter. I post a few things every day, generally business related, not always accounting related, but at least business related. And I do have a business blog that I post to frequently, so feel free to check those out if you have any interest there. So let's get down to the seminars and exactly what's going on there. If we take a look at Seminar 1, this is pretty much what a folder is going to look like when you get in there. There's a few things that I want to point out to you first. In the first 2 weeks of the class, you will have 2 chapters to cover. That is a lot. We do 10 and 11 in the first week. We do 12 and 9 in the second week. Then we do 13 by itself, 14 by itself, 15 by itself, and then 16 by itself in Seminar 6. In this class, you're going to have 3 comprehensive problems. Comprehensive problems generally are things that, at least the first one here that you can see, this comprehensive problem due Wednesday of week 1 is from chapter 8, problem 8 from the textbook. So that goes back into previous knowledge. So it's something that you got from your first class. So some of these comprehensive problems are just a situation where you put a bunch of the things that you've learned all together in one problem. So they're going to take a little bit. I would not wait till like 10 o'clock at night, Wednesday night, to start working on this problem, because you might find you run out of time. Not that all your problems are going to take you 2 hours, but in case you need to go back and review some stuff and so forth. Also, the idea of the discussion board and participation, since there are no discussion questions, the participation needs to be all about you guys talking about the homework problems and helping each other out on the board, and I will be on there as well too, addressing any concerns or questions that you guys might have. But I want you guys to work together on this stuff. I want you guys to share what you found. Ask some questions if you're wondering about something, if you're trying to narrow it down between 2 things that you think might be the way to go on something, whether it's a problem or a case or whatever. I want you guys to talk about it. Everybody still has to turn in all of their own work, but it doesn't mean that you can't have a discussion about it on the discussion board. And in my class, I highly encourage you to do that. So here's a layout of what it would look like. You can see there's an awful lot of problems that are due, and you don't have anything due till Monday in most weeks. We get to some other weeks, we can talk about some different things. But in this class, you're going to have problems due every week. So that's 6 weeks worth of problems, and look how many problems you have here. C's just means that it's a case versus a problem. And not as much number crunching generally, but usually it's some analysis and some critical thinking, and sometimes it's things like communication where you have to craft a memo to somebody explaining some accounting procedure or rule or something. Again, you will have 3 comprehensive problems throughout this course. You will have 2 essays, which are essentially cases. They usually have to do with some type of communication or explanation. You will have 2 research projects. 2 research projects to do. You will have the participation each week. You guys know about how that works. Here's an example of an essay in the second week, and again, 2 chapters, chapter 12 and chapter 9, are due in that week. Whoops. And so you also will have the final exam. The final exam is going to be comprehensive. There's only 1 test. There's our second comprehensive problem due here in week 3. You can see we're down to 1 chapter. Here's our first research project. And so you have a research code to investigate and respond to. Again, that's where that book will come in, that Accounting and Auditing Research Tools. Again, you got your participation. Remember, I want you guys to talk about stuff. And when we get to seminar 6 is the final exam. Again, it's comprehensive. It's over everything. It's going to be a combination of things. There's 50 multiple choice questions, and they're worth 6 points apiece. So the way that they've laid out this test for you is they expect it to take you approximately 2 hours, and that would be giving you 2.5 minutes per question. The exam is not timed. You can take as much time as you'd like, but once you start, you have to complete this exam. So you would definitely want to make sure if you are going to wait till this Wednesday of week 6, you want to make sure that you have some hours. You don't want to start it at 10 o'clock at night or something like that, where you're stressed out and everything, and you're kind of worrying about getting it done by midnight and so forth. And in week 6, you're still going to have 1 chapter, chapter 16, and you are still going to have some problems. There is no participation in week 6. I will build a discussion board there, and that will be just to have any communication that anybody wants to have, or if you want to ask any questions from a final exam study review point of view, you'll have the ability to do that. Also ask questions on the discussion board. If you have personal issues, that would be something that you would send to me through the communication area there in an email. But for the most part, just ask your questions on the discussion board. You're probably not the only one who has those questions. And if I know what the concerns are, sometimes I can even come up with some additional things to think about or some other ways to help you. So please communicate both with me and with your fellow students, and let's help each other out, and let's have a great 6 weeks. Thanks. See you in class.